a lecturer in the School of History and Archives in University College Dublin, and along with Mark Duncan, Leanne Lane and Nuala O'Connor, tonight we are going to give people an idea of what it was like to live in Kilkenny 100 years ago. We're going to do that in a whole load of different ways. We're going to look at the politics of Kilkenny, what it was like to be involved in the politics of Kilkenny at a time, at the beginning of a decade of momentous change. In fact, the greatest decade of change in Irish history, when Ireland became an independent state for the first time and gained a political independence, allowing for partition. So we're going to look at the politics of that. We're going to look at the unionist element of Kilkenny. The fact that a royal visit to Kilkenny just a few years before 1911 had drawn huge numbers of Kilkenny people onto the streets, which were bedecked with Union Jacks, with the British national anthem playing through the streets and people cheering. And we're going to look at the rising generation of nationalists who formed the IRA eventually and got rid of the Union, at least in 26 counties. That's the politics of it. We're also going to look at the social and economic life of Kilkenny, and you have to remember the single greatest characteristic of Kilkenny 100 years ago is the collapse in its population. You look, for example, at the fact that just before the Great Famine there were 202,000 people living in Kilkenny. By 1911 that population had collapsed to the point where there were just 75,000 people living in the country, and that population continued to fall to the point where it reached 60,000 by 1960. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at what it was like as well, the sporting life of the county. Kilkenny was then establishing itself as the greatest hurling force in the country. It contested 7 All-Irelands in 13 years between 1904 and 1913, and in those years it actually won all 7 of those All-Irelands which contested. But 1911 was also the year for Kilkenny footballers, the last time they won the Leinster Football Championship, back in 1911. Hard to believe now, but Kilkenny was then as much a footballing county before that generation as it was a hurling county. So we're going to look at that. Finally, what we're also going to look at is the place of Kilkenny within Irish life. What importance did Kilkenny hold in shaping the politics and the social life of Ireland during this period, which Leanne Lane will be looking at. Now, as a special additional matter, Nuala O'Connor is going to look at the music that people listened to in Kilkenny during those years. She's going to play tunes, and there is talk that her husband Philip King and McCanley are going to come and sing some of the tunes from that period as well. So we're looking at, and personally speaking, that's the bit of the night that I'm looking forward to anyway. The event is on in the Newpark Hotel. It's at 6 o'clock, and I'm not sure exactly how much it is in, but however cheap it is, it is worth, or however expensive it is worth every penny that somebody might wish to spend.